you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast, dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Cynthia, and happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope you all are having a very strong start to your day and just having an amazing, productive week. I haven't talked to y'all since last Wednesday. It's been a week, and I feel like it's been longer. I don't know. I was so eager to hop on and do this podcast and just connect with you guys again. Over the weekend, I was in Las Vegas visiting a friend of mine who now lives there. And it was really relaxing, really chill vibes. We did go on the strip, but nothing was really open. Everyone was basically just wandering outside. But honestly, my friend and I, we were just there mainly to get dolled up, get cute, and just take some cute pics on the strip. And that's exactly what we did. So mission accomplished. We weren't really there to party. We just went there for the first night. Even though my voice does sound like I a weekend in Vegas, but it is actually just from all of the morning classes I taught this morning and all day yesterday. So I'm sure all of my fitness instructors, group fitness instructors feel me on this. You start to lose your voice a little bit from all the energy and excitement that you put into leading your class. So my voice sounds like this, not because of, Vegas, but because of my classes. And so I was in the city of sin, soaking up the sun. It was really nice, much needed mini getaway from my usual routine. And my friend has a pool, a jacuzzi, so it was really nice, really, really necessary for me. And since I was in Sin City, we all know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But does the alcohol that you drank all that weekend stay in Vegas? No, it stays in your body. So that's exactly everything. We're going to talk all things regarding alcohol, the effects of alcohol on your body. We're going to talk about how long alcohol stays in your body and so much more, you guys. I mean, we could really break into so many subcategories in regards to alcohol because it's just a huge umbrella in terms of alcohol and its correlation, good or bad, to our health, mind, and physical body. And so I really hope you guys get this word I'm about to tell you and really listen up to everything that I'm about to say, because I'm going to be just spewing a lot of information, a lot of helpful information, and maybe it'll help you think twice about grabbing a second glass or bottle of wine tonight. Who knows? Alcohol's impact on your body starts from the moment you take your first sip, okay? While an occasional glass of wine with dinner isn't a cause for concern, the cumulative effects of drinking wine, beer, or spirits can take its toll, right? So I know for a fact that alcohol can age you. If we just look at the queen, La Reina, Jennifer Lopez, she is 51 years old, and she looks good, okay? She does not look like she's in her 50s, not even like she's in her 40s. And I listened to an interview of hers, and she stated, they asked her, like, what is the key to the fountain of youth? Like, why do you look this good? She says she doesn't drink at all, not even wine. So I'm like, well, dang, I don't know. I'm like, well, dang it, It's like, so. And Angela Bassett, another celebrity, she's in her 60s, girl. She looks like she's in her 30s. She looks so good. And same thing, she also says she doesn't drink. So I know that's one of the effects of alcohol over a prolonged period of time that can definitely speed up the aging process, as well as, cause other effects of alcohol in your body can cause, obviously, behavior changes, blackouts, slurred speech. This is like more of like a night out with your girls in Vegas, Miami, whatever. But more long-term damaging effects could include your liver, liver damage, heart damage, cancer, lung infections, pancreatitis, stomach distress, infertility. I didn't know this. Infertility, birth defects, malnutrition, muscle cramps. I mean, there's so many things. Alcohol has such a huge impact on our health. And I think it's really important for us to bring light to this and really understand the impacts of alcohol. I'm not sharing this information with you guys to scare you. This is just simply to inform you, because knowledge is power. And again, you're going to have this knowledge in your back pocket the next time someone offers you a drink, or the next time you go out to a dinner, company dinner, whatever, and people ask you, do you want a shot? You want this? Like, I'm not saying, you should never drink ever again, but like, this might just give you a different perspective, or just make you think twice before taking that sip. A glass a day may do little damage to your overall health, but if the habit grows, or if you find yourself having a hard time stopping after just one glass, the cumulative effects can add up. And let's first talk about your digestive and endocrine glands. Drinking too much alcohol can cause abnormal activation of digestive enzymes produced by the pancreas. Buildup of these enzymes can lead to inflammation known as pancreatitis. And pancreatitis can become a long-term condition and cause serious complications, okay? So digestive and endocrine glands negatively affects them. Then we have inflammatory damage, right? So inflammatory damage is when the liver is an organ, the liver is an organ which helps break down and remove harmful substances from your body, including alcohol. Long-term alcohol use interferes with this process. And it also increases your risk for chronic liver inflammation and liver disease. The scarring caused by this inflammation is known as cirrhosis, which is the formation of scar tissue, and the formation of scar tissue destroys the liver. As the liver becomes increasingly damaged, it has a hard time removing toxic substances from your body. And liver disease, y'all, is life-threatening and leads to toxins and waste buildup in your body. This is literally what happened to one of my grandparents. He passed away several years ago, and he was an alcoholic, and obviously that doesn't have a positive impact on the liver, and he ended up dying of liver cancer, liver disease. Women are at higher risk for developing alcoholic liver disease. Women's bodies are more likely to absorb more alcohol and need longer periods of time to process it. Women also show liver damage more quickly than men. So, for my ladies out there, be careful of, exceeding more than a glass a day of wine, because this can catch up to you. We're going to come to a very brief break right now. And when we come back, we're going to talk about alcohol and your sugar levels.
Are you looking to learn more about the latest trends from the fitness world? Are you confused by all of the different trends that are out there? The GSMC Fitness Podcast is the place for you. The GSMC Fitness Podcast is the place to come for people of all skill and interest levels. Join us as we explore the latest trends in the fitness world. Does that new exercise really work? Should I try yoga? Whatever your question, chances are good you'll find an answer on the GSMC Fitness Podcast.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. So we're now just going to get straight into it. Sugar levels. The pancreas helps regulate your body's insulin use and response to glucose. When your pancreas and liver aren't functioning properly, you run the risk of experiencing low blood sugar or hypoglycemia. A damaged pancreas may also prevent the body from producing enough insulin to utilize sugar. And this can lead to hyperglycemia or too much sugar in the body. If your body can't manage and balance your blood sugar levels, you may experience greater complications and side effects related to diabetes. It's important for people with diabetes or hypoglycemia to avoid excessive amounts of alcohol. Now let's switch on to alcohol and your central nervous system. One of the easiest ways to understand alcohol's impact on your body is by understanding how it affects your central nervous system. Slurred speech is one of the first signs you've had too much to drink, right? We all know once we get the, oh, I love you talk from like your friend or family or whoever you're drinking with, you know it's time to go home. It's time to stop drinking, put the cup down, put the bottle down, and sober up a little bit. So definitely slurred speech is one of the first signs that you've had too much to drink. Alcohol can reduce communication between your brain and your body. This makes coordination more difficult. You may have a hard time balancing, and you should never drive after drinking, of course. As alcohol causes more damage to your central nervous system, you may experience numbness and tingling sensations in your feet and hands. Drinking also makes it difficult for your brain to create long-term memories. It also reduces your ability to think clearly and make rational choices. Right? Been there, done that. Aren't we all guilty? Over time, the frontal lobe damage can occur. And this area of the brain is responsible for emotional control, short-term memory, and judgment, in addition to other vital roles. Chronic and severe alcohol abuse can cause permanent brain damage, and this can lead to Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, which is a brain disorder that affects memory. Alcohol also leads to dependency. Some people who drink heavily may develop a physical and emotional dependency on alcohol. Alcohol withdrawal can be difficult and life-threatening. You often need professional help to break an alcohol addiction. As a result, many people seek medical detoxification to get sober. It's the safest way to ensure you break the physical addiction. Depending on the risk for withdrawal symptoms, detoxification can be managed on either an outpatient or inpatient basis. Here are some of the symptoms of alcohol withdrawal, and they include anxiety, nervousness, nausea, tremors, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, and heavy sweating. Seizures, hallucinations, and delirium may occur in severe cases of alcohol withdrawal. Now let's get into alcohol and the effect it has on your digestive system. The connection between alcohol consumption and your digestive system might not seem immediately clear. The side effects often only appear after there has been damage. And the more you drink, the greater the damage will become. Drinking can damage the tissues in your digestive tract and prevent your intestines from digesting food and absorbing nutrients and vitamins. As a result, malnutrition may occur. Heavy drinking can also lead to gassiness, bloating, a feeling of fullness in your abdomen, especially when you drink like beer. That's when you get that bloating sensation, like your stomach literally hurts. That's why I do not like drinking beer. And heavy drinking can also lead to diarrhea or painful stools. For people who drink heavily, ulcers or hemorrhoids due to dehydration and constipation aren't uncommon, and they may cause dangerous internal bleeding. Ulcers can be fatal if not diagnosed and treated early. People who consume too much alcohol may also be at risk for cancer. People who drink frequently are more likely to develop cancer in the mouth, throat, esophagus, colon, or liver. And people who regularly drink and use tobacco together have an even greater cancer risk. Alcohol and the circulatory system. Alcohol can affect your heart and lungs. People who are chronic drinkers of alcohol have a higher risk of heart-related issues than people who do not drink. Women who drink are more likely to develop heart disease than men who drink. Circulatory system complications include high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, difficulty pumping blood throughout the body, stroke, heart attack, heart disease, heart failure. Difficulty absorbing vitamins and minerals from food can cause anemia. This is a condition where you have a low red blood cell count. One of the biggest symptoms of anemia is fatigue. Alcohol and sexual and reproductive health. You may think drinking alcohol can lower your inhibitions and help you have more fun in bed, but the reality is quite different. Men who drink too much are more likely to experience erectile dysfunction. Now, ladies, I know some of you may have experienced this before with somebody, and that's exactly what alcohol does. It has them, men who drink too much, experience erectile dysfunction. And heavy drinking can also prevent sex hormone production and lower your libido. Women who drink too much may stop menstruating, and that puts them at a greater risk for infertility. Women who drink heavily during pregnancy have a higher risk of premature delivery, miscarriage, or stillbirth. Women who drink alcohol while pregnant put their unborn child at risk. Fetal alcohol syndrome disorders, FASD, is a serious concern. And other conditions include learning difficulties, long-term health issues, increased emotional problems, and physical development abnormalities. Alcohol and the skeletal and muscle systems. Long-term alcohol use may prevent your body from keeping your bones strong. This habit may cause thinner bones and increase your risk for fractures if you fall. And fractures may heal more slowly. Drinking alcohol may also lead to muscle weakness, cramping, and eventually atrophy. Now, alcohol and your immune system. Drinking heavily reduces your body's natural immune system. This makes it more difficult for your body to fight off invading germs and viruses. People who drink heavily over a long period of time are also more likely to develop pneumonia or tuberculosis than the general population. About 10% of all tuberculosis cases worldwide can be tied to alcohol consumption. Sheesh, that is a lot, right? So, in a nutshell, you guys, alcohol has some serious negative effects on your body, okay? Internally, physically, everything. From shrinking your brain to slurred speech to lung infections, changes in coordination, malnutrition. I mean, really, alcohol just prevents your body from properly working and functioning at its highest capacity. And it's kind of scary to think about it, right? Like how one glass over a prolonged period of time, every day, can lead to these types of negative effects. It alarms me. I don't know if it alarms you. We're going to come to a very brief break, you guys. And when we come back, we're going to discuss how long does alcohol stay in your system.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hey guys, welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. So we're going to answer the big question of how long alcohol stays in our bodies. We're going to specifically tackle right now, alcohol metabolism, how is alcohol metabolized, breastfeeding even, and alcohol poisoning, and so much more in this segment. For those of you who don't know, alcohol is a depressant that has a short lifespan in the body. Once alcohol has entered your bloodstream, your body will begin to metabolize it at a rate of 20 milligrams per deciliter per hour. I know, it's a lot of math, it's a lot of thinking. Don't think about it too much. That means that if your blood level or blood alcohol level were 40 milligrams per deciliter, it would take about 2 hours to metabolize the alcohol. So, how long does it take for the effects of alcohol to wear off? Alcohol is metabolized at a constant rate, but some people may feel the effect of alcohol for longer amounts of time. And that's because blood alcohol concentrations can vary among people and situations. Blood alcohol concentration refers to the amount of alcohol in your blood in relation to the amount of water in your blood. For example, if 2 people each have blood alcohol levels of 20 milligrams per deciliter, the alcohol will metabolize in about an hour in each person. But their BACs, their blood alcohol concentration, can be very different. And numerous factors can affect their BAC, right? And how you react to alcohol, including age, weight, drinking alcohol on an empty stomach, medications, liver disease, and drinking many drinks in a short period of time, like back to back, which is also known as binge drinking. It's also important to know how much alcohol is in your drink, because that will determine how long it takes to metabolize your drink. For example, some beers have a higher alcohol content, which affects how much alcohol you're consuming from one drink. So right now, I'm going to read you guys a general estimates for how long it takes to metabolize different alcoholic beverages, though these times will vary depending on the amount of alcohol in the beverage. So a Coors Light versus a Corona beer, these times will vary depending on each. It's not the same. So one small shot of liquor is going to take about an hour to metabolize. A pint of beer is going to take about 2 hours. A large glass of wine, about 3. And then a few drinks, several hours. There are certain types you can take to help reduce the effects of alcohol. Food may help your body absorb alcohol, which is why it's always really important to not drink on an empty stomach, right? It's always suggested to eat before drinking. I'm sure if you've went during your party stage, you and your friends, we're in your hotel room eating some Chinese takeout or pizza or something like that before going out to drink. And that's because food could help your body absorb the alcohol. Water can help reduce your BAC as well, though it will take 1 hour to metabolize 20 milligrams per deciliter of alcohol. And avoid caffeine. It's a myth that coffee, energy drinks, or any other similar beverages alleviate intoxication quicker. So with that being said, how is alcohol metabolized? When you consume alcohol, it first enters the digestive system, right? Alcohol isn't digested like food and other drinks, however. About 20% of the alcohol from a single drink moves directly to the blood vessels. From there, it's carried to your brain. And the rest of the 80% goes to your small intestine, then directly to your bloodstream. The final step of the alcohol life cycle is its removal from the body through the liver. Any issues with your liver can slow down this process. Urine versus breath tests. Urine tests can detect alcohol long after you've had your last drink. These tests look for traces of alcohol metabolites. The average urine test can detect alcohol between 12 and 48 hours after drinking. 48. More advanced testing can measure alcohol in the urine 80 hours after you drink. That's like what? 4 days? About 4 days? Breath tests for alcohol can detect alcohol within a shorter time frame. There's about 24 hours on average. A small machine called a breathalyzer measures your BAC. Any number above 0.02 is considered unsafe for driving or other safety-based tasks. Alcohol can stay in your hair for up to 90 days, you guys. I did not know this. Up to 90 days, 90. It can also temporarily be detected in saliva, sweat, and blood. So that's pretty crazy, right? So again, how long after drinking can it detect alcohol? In your urine, 12 to 48 hours. Breath, 24 hours on average. And lastly, your hair, 90 days. Wow. That's really insane. The hair one is the one that really got me shocked. Like, what you mean 90 days? So like, literally 3 months ago, I can tell. That's crazy. All right. Breastfeeding and alcohol. There's a misconception that tracking the amount of alcohol you drink and the time your body takes to get rid of it can help keep breast milk safe. And let me just say that no amount of alcohol is safe to drink when you're breastfeeding. Period. Babies who are exposed to alcohol are at risk for decreased motor skills and other developmental delays. While the Mayo Clinic says that alcohol takes a few hours to clear breast milk on average, the process varies in the same way as it does for women who aren't breastfeeding. If you do drink alcohol while breastfeeding, consider the following ways to keep your baby safe. First, breastfeed before you have a drink, right? 2, pump extra milk ahead of time so that you can feed your baby with expressed milk. And lastly, wait 2 to 3 hours after a shot or a 12-ounce glass of beer or wine before breastfeeding again. Now let's talk about alcohol poisoning. Knock on wood, literally knock on wood. I've never had alcohol poisoning. I really pray that I never get to experience that in my lifetime, because every single person I've talked to has said that it freaking sucks, okay? Things are coming out of your mouth. Things are coming out of your other end. And it is just something I truly, truly, truly do not wish to go through ever in my life, okay? I've heard horror stories from alcohol poisoning, and I really cannot. I just can't. I just can't. I literally can't. Alcohol poisoning is an emergency medical condition, right? And it occurs when a large amount of alcohol is consumed and your body can't break it down quickly enough. Binge drinking is the most common cause of alcohol poisoning, and symptoms include, I think the most common one, vomiting, reduced blood temperature, slower breathing, passing out even. Oftentimes, a person with alcohol poisoning passes out before they realize what's happened. If you suspect alcohol poisoning in a friend or loved one, call your local emergency services right away. And to prevent choking from vomit, turn the person on their side and never leave a friend with alcohol poisoning by themselves, okay? These are all tips, of course, that I learned in college, especially during my time living in Santa Barbara, because, girl, I have seen it all out there. I have seen some scary things happen out there. So definitely don't leave someone who's very intoxicated by themselves, someone who's vomiting. Make sure they're on their sides. All of that stuff. Just like help each other out. Be a community. The quicker you seek help, the more likely you are to minimize potentially fatal complications such as cardiac arrest, which is heart attack, brain damage, seizure, asphyxiation, and extremely low blood pressure. So the main takeaway for this segment is that the rate that alcohol can stay in your system depends on a variety of factors, right? The bottom line is safety and moderation. Keep your consumption to a few drinks per week and avoid binge drinking. Also, be sure to have a ride lined up if you're drinking away from home. Even if you're below the legal limit, it's never safe to drive with any amount of alcohol consumption. So does that make sense, y'all? Yes? Okay. We're going to cut into a very, very brief break. And when we come back in our next segment, we're going to talk about how to sober up and quickly. We'll be right back.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Hey guys, welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. This segment's going to be really exciting. This is one that I know you are all eager to find out how to sober up, right? Like, how can we sober up quickly? Especially when you know you got to wake up early in the a.m. and head to your work for an 8-hour shift or whatever. So, the first question we need to dissect. Is there a way to sober up fast? Is there truly a way to sober up fast? Besides your mom calling you, right, when you're out drinking. That was funny. Anyway, so you've had too much to drink. It happens to the best of us, right? Maybe a strong cocktail snuck up on you, right? Maybe you drank too much, too fast. Or maybe you just had one too many. But what do you do when you need to sober up quickly? The search for a way to sober up fast is an endless one. There are many tall tales and secret recipes out there that claim to have solved this problem. Unfortunately, none are backed by science. Ask any doctor how to sober up fast and they'll tell you the truth. It's impossible. The good news is that there are steps you can take to avoid getting too drunk and ending up with a bad hangover. The only thing that lowers the concentration of alcohol in your bloodstream is time. When alcohol enters your stomach, it's quickly absorbed into your bloodstream through the stomach lining and small intestine. Some alcoholic drinks are absorbed faster than others. Generally, stronger drinks are absorbed more quickly. Alcoholic drinks have varying amounts of alcohol in them. Typically, beer is around 5% alcohol. Some beers may have more, by the way. Wine is about 12 to 15% alcohol. And hard liquor is about 45% alcohol. A shot will get you drunk faster than a beer, right? And you may begin to feel the effects within 10 minutes of drinking. And they'll peak around 40 to 60 minutes after drinking. Factors like how much you weigh and whether you've recently eaten can influence how quickly your body absorbs alcohol. After alcohol enters the bloodstream, it's broken down by the liver. It takes about an hour for your liver to break down the amount of alcohol in a standard alcoholic drink. If you drink alcohol faster than your liver can break it down, your blood alcohol level rises and you start feeling drunk. There isn't anything you can do to speed up how quickly your liver breaks down the alcohol in your blood. So sobering up fast isn't really, an option. Let's talk about some of the myths about sobering up fast. You've probably heard most of them before. DIY methods for sobering up quickly are everywhere. But which one actually works? Besides your mom calling you in the middle of a night out. The short answer, besides that one, is none of them. You might be able to make yourself feel better or look better, but only time will lower your blood alcohol level. When you're drunk, alcohol has accumulated in your bloodstream because your liver hasn't had time to process and break it down yet. Blood alcohol level is measured by the weight of alcohol in a certain volume of blood. The result of this measurement is called blood alcohol concentration, or BAC. It's illegal in every U.S. state to drive with a BAC of 0.08 or higher. Trying to sober up fast for driving isn't a good idea. Your BAC will remain high until your liver has time to process the alcohol and get it out of your blood. You could be pulled over and charged with drunk driving or worse, get into a serious car accident, harming yourself or others. An estimated 29% in the United States die every day in alcohol-related car accidents. That's one person every 50 minutes. So by the time we're done with this podcast, one person in the United States will die due to an alcohol-related car accident. So keeping in mind that nothing you can do will lower your BAC except time. Let's look at some common myths about how you can sober up fast. First one is that drink strong coffee to sober you up. Alcohol makes you sleepy, right? Caffeine is a stimulant that makes you feel more awake, but it doesn't speed up the metabolism of alcohol. In fact, drinking caffeine can be dangerous because it tricks people into thinking they're sober enough to drive. Mixing alcohol with energy drinks is equally, if not more, dangerous. Next myth. Taking a cold shower to sober up. Taking a cold shower is another way to wake yourself up. A cold shower can give you a second wind, but it's not going to reverse the effects of alcohol. In some cases, the shock of a cold shower can actually cause people to lose consciousness. The next common myth regarding, tips and tricks on how to sober up fast is that to eat fatty foods to sober up. Now, this one I have tried on multiple occasions. There's nothing like after a night of drinking, you want like a nice, cheesy, greasy burger. I can literally taste it right now. I'm so hungry. So that is another myth. Alcohol is absorbed through the stomach lining. And if you have a stomach full of fatty food when you start drinking, the alcohol will be absorbed into your bloodstream more slowly. But alcohol is absorbed into the bloodstream in about 10 minutes. Once the alcohol is in your blood, it's too late for food to have any effect. Plus, fatty foods and alcohol combined can cause diarrhea. Another myth. To throw up to sober up. Throwing up won't reduce your blood alcohol level. Alcohol is absorbed into your bloodstream very quickly. So, unless you vomit immediately after taking a sip, it won't make much difference. But drinking too much can make you feel nauseous, and throwing up often helps relieve nausea. So, how to sober up before bed? The best way to sober up, honestly, is to just get a good night's sleep. which is so hard because I feel like every time after a night drinking, you actually never get like a good night's sleep. You, for some reason, always end up waking up like very early, like 6 a.m. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Over the course of the night, your liver will have time to metabolize all the alcohol in your system. Passing out after a night of heavy drinking is not uncommon. But it's important to remember that sleeping it off can be dangerous when someone has had a large quantity of alcohol. An alcohol overdose can be fatal or lead to irreversible brain damage. Alcohol affects the nerves responsible for gag reflex, which means people can vomit in their sleep and choke to death. Your blood alcohol level can continue to rise even after passing out. When you're intoxicated, you will fall asleep easily enough, but your sleep will probably be fragmented and disturbed. So here are a few tips that help set the scene for an easier morning. 1. Drink a big glass of water before you go to sleep to fight the dehydrating effects of alcohol. 2. Leave another big glass of water on your nightstand and take sips whenever you wake up. 3. Leave a trash can, bucket, or bowl next to your bed in case you vomit. 4. Leave an over-the-counter pain reliever like Advil on your nightstand to take in the morning. Avoid products with acetaminophen like Tylenol and Excedrin because they can lead to liver damage when taken with alcohol in the same 24-hour period. Never take sleeping pills or other depressants when you've been drinking. And set a backup alarm if you need to wake up early. Now, how to sober up in the morning. So, it's the morning after, right? And you're paying the price. Hangovers can be brutal, but don't go drinking raw eggs mixed with bacon fat because the internet tells you it's a magic hangover cure. It's not. Most hangovers resolve on their own within 24 hours. And the best hangover cures are time and rest. But here are a few tips to help ease the pain. And I'm going to give you guys these tips right after this commercial break.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. So I left you guys hanging and I didn't tell you how, the few tips to ease the pain. So for the morning, go back to sleep, okay? Intoxicated sleep is not restful or restorative, but going back to sleep once you're sober can help relieve a hangover. You can also take an OTC pain reliever to treat your headache. Drink water to counteract the dehydrating effects of alcohol. Drink a sports drink fortified with vitamins and minerals like Gatorade. Treat gastrointestinal upset with an OTC product like Pepto-Bismol or Tums. Caffeine can help combat the fatigue associated with hangovers, but it can also make stomach upset worse. Put some ice or a cold cloth on your head. Keep the shades closed and light out of your eyes or wear sunglasses. Eat bland foods like toast and crackers to raise your blood sugar without irritating your stomach. and don't drink more alcohol as it will make you feel worse, which is actually really funny because some people say the best way to cure a hangover is to keep drinking. And I actually have done this before, and I think it's not healthy, but I think you just basically keeping the cycle going, right? So lastly, you guys, I'm going to end today's episode with 5 ways to avoid getting too drunk. So that way it can help you avoiding getting that nasty hangover. The first is to count your drinks. Keeping track of how many drinks you've had can really help. People often lose count or forget that they took a shot. So try putting beer caps in your pocket, carrying a pen and writing tick marks in your hand, or using a simple notepad app on your phone to mark each drink. Number 2, measure your drinks. A standard drink is 1 12-ounce beer, 1 4-ounce glass of wine, or 1.5-ounce shot of hard liquor. Many cocktails contain more than 1 shot, and a generous pour of wine often amounts to 2 standard drinks. Keep in mind that beers vary in alcohol percentage, so an IPA with 9% alcohol will count more than a light beer with 4% alcohol. 3, alter what you drink. To avoid getting too drunk, stick with drinks that have a low alcohol content, such as light beer. And try avoiding mixed drinks and drinking only beer for the night. Shots of hard liquor get you drunk very fast, so avoid them. 4, alter how you drink. Slow down, stick with drinks that take a while to finish, like beer and wine. If you can, stick to 1 drink per hour. Try drinking a glass of water, soda, or juice in between alcoholic drinks. Spacing out your drinks allows your liver time to break down the alcohol. And lastly, eat something. Don't drink on an empty stomach. When you start drinking on an empty stomach, the alcohol is absorbed very quickly. So try eating a meal high in carbs or fats before drinking. Also, it may help to continue snacking as the night goes on. So you guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode here at the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. We covered so many different things involving alcohol. And honestly, there's so many more things that I didn't even get to touch on. So we talked about how to sober up, and we talked about the different effects that alcohol has on your body, how long alcohol stays in your system, and everything in between. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode and you learned something insightful, something that you will be able to use, next time you go out and drink, or just makes you think twice about how much you drink. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all of the above, and I'll catch you guys here next week.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.